John Henry. I am the singer for the band Darkest Hour.
Great. So, how are you enjoying this tour with Machine Head so far? You're
It's
into it.
yeah, it's super great tour for us. We just did a tour with them in Europe too, and that one was just totally insane too. But it's been great. Like their fans are just awesome, real just dedicated metalheads. So it's like if you play pretty good metal, they're gonna like you. So it's definitely it's been really fun. Great crowds too. So
That's good. So, how's it different in the States versus Europe for you?
it's not that, it's only like little different. I mean, we tour Europe and we tour the States. It's usually about the same amount of people. So, but there's definitely different stuff. Like they take way better care of the bands, and in the States it's like everybody for themselves. So but yeah, it's fun to just go to a different country every day.
I can imagine.
It's pretty cool.
So, you're still currently touring behind. It was your seventh album.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
it was The Human Romance.
Yeah.
And that was last year?
Yeah.
So, you guys currently working on any new material?
We're kind of like always writing stuff, and always coming up with ideas. So so we're in the process now of just getting all the ideas together to start jamming with them. So
Okay.
but so far it's coming along really good.
That's good. So, you're a band that can write on the road, obviously, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean,
so.
totally. We all have little guitars and stuff, and at any time someone can just be like, "Oh, I just." Oh, okay, yeah, that'd be cool like this. Oh, yeah. So yeah, it's a good way to kill time too.
So, obviously, The Human Romance has gotten some pretty good praise and everything for you guys. How has it exceeded your expectations?
I don't know. How's it exceeded my expectations? I don't think anybody in the band is ever really happy. Everybody always wants more people to hear their stuff and everything. But what's been really, I guess, a good answer is because these new songs have been going over so well. I guess that did exceed my expectations. Because usually you expect to put out a record and hang on a second. Usually you expect to put out a record and, go to play shows for it, and a lot of times the attitude of people is like, oh, I just want to hear that stuff off the first record or the old stuff. People get stuck in what they like, but this record, more than any, has been like when we play this record, more than any, is sorry.
Okay.
You got people hanging around.
It happens.
More than any other record, the songs, when we play them live, have been getting crazy responses and stuff. Like when we toured in Europe, our set now is almost all new material, and the new stuff was getting better reaction than the old stuff, So that's really good, because that usually never happens, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, how'd the deal come about with you guys in E1?
We just met up with them, and they just seemed like genuinely really interested in the band, and seemed like they liked the band, cared about the band, and wanted to have like a good working relationship with us. So
yeah, I've actually
out.
heard nothing but positive things about the label, and one of my favorites, Pop Evil, is your label mate. So
they're great. We're gonna get ready to hang out with them tomorrow night, actually.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely tell Lee I said hello.
Cool.
So, in what ways would you say that, you guys have matured as a band over the years, even, as far as music and personally?
Well, musically, we came to kind of, realize that the ultimate goal in writing a song is to, create a song that, you would want to listen to,
Mm-hmm.
And it's all, a lot of times before it's just been like, a bunch of collection of parts, and we have to stick this part in there, so let's stick this part in there. And now we just focus way more on, the song being coherent all the way through and just making sense to us and being good and catchy. And and then, I don't know, I guess personally, we're a little less crazy than we were when we started doing this, I guess. More crazy in some ways and less crazy in some ways, but
I'm sure there's stories that go.
We've
along with
definitely
that.
grown, you know, like we've learned to like have a way better time with it now than I think, you know. For a while we were doing, you know, for a long time we were doing it, and you know, it's like it can be a real struggle being in a band for a long time when it's, you know, it's because it is tough, you know, you're broke a lot of times, hungry, and you know, whatever, but ultimately it's about like having fun and doing something, you know, and if you lose, you can't lose track of that, basically. So
Right. Well, it's been like over 15 years, a little over. For
yeah,
you
it's
guys,
been
right?
like 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how
Almost
have you
17.
kept it going? Like, have you ever reached a point where you're like, oh my god, we cannot do this anymore?
Yeah, I mean, we've reached the point, and we've had, you know, members of the band come and go, and you know, and ultimately it's just if you believe in it, and if you want it to, you know, you want it to be this awesome thing, and you love it and you care about it, then it's not gonna stop you.
Yeah, of course. I love the story behind your album cover too, with the two skeletons.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, kind of like life and music, and
Yeah, that
it's
kind of
neat.
that image just kind of like you know, it's funny, and you know, and then it's just like an image I found on the internet. So it's like obviously it's used in other things, and it's been like on another record cover. We found all this stuff like after we used it, of course. But it just like it did like capture the whole vibe of that record. To
Yeah, I
me,
mean,
you know,
I really like the story behind it. So.
yeah, and that was kind of like I don't know, I couldn't stop thinking about that image. So just like, so.
So, what would be one of the most surprising influences that we would find from you?
Surprising influences. I don't know. Maybe like the Beatles, you know? Because they kind of like, you know, set the whole standard for rock music, and even though we played metal, you can learn a lot from like rock music and like
Oh, absolutely. They were
arrange your
hit
songs and
makers,
stuff.
so.
Yeah. I don't know if that's that surprising, but
So, do you have any advice to aspiring musicians? You know, is there an important lesson that you might have learned along the way?
I mean, just, you know, I guess don't give up, and whatever you do, just practice the shit out of it and get good at it, you know?
So
Don't be arrogant. Don't be an asshole. That's about it.
So, what are your plans for after this tour?
After this tour, we have a few months off. We have like a couple little like fly-in things. Like we're gonna go to the Philippines and do a big festival there. We're gonna go to Europe and do a couple big festivals there, and that's it for now. So we're kind of like finishing up the touring cycle. So.
That's cool. So,
Yeah.
being that we're a pop culture website, is there a particular area of pop culture that angers or fascinates you in any way?
I've been getting back into comics lately. I think that's pretty awesome. Like I'm not super, you know, not crazy into them, but I've just been reading like, you know, like Watchmen and some of the like graphic novels, Dark Knight Returns. So there's always cool stuff out there. You just have to find it, you know.
What did you think of Watchmen graphic novel versus the film?
I haven't even seen the movie yet, so
Really?
I'm curious. But I really loved
It was hit or miss. Some people liked
Really?
it, some people didn't. I'm on
Yeah.
the fence. So.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check it out. So.
Great. Well, what is the best way for us to keep up to date?
The best way would be the internet, obviously, on our Facebook, Official Darkest Hour. Hit the like button or whatever it is, and then we have it all. Actually, we have in our website, it's darkeshour.info, and that has all of the links to all our different internet things.
Great. Well, I'm
Yeah.
sure you've like witnessed this uprise of social media and everything. So.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
it's like either embrace it or not.
So you have to embrace it. And, you know, when we started the band, we didn't have cell phones. You know, we would roll into town and find a payphone and call a guy and be like, "How do we get there?" Now it's just like, you know, beep, beep, beep. Okay, you stare at the things till you get there.
Exactly.
So
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah.
talking to me. I appreciate it.
yeah, thank you guys for the interview.
And definitely enjoy the rest of the tour.
Awesome.